Songs to Sing at the End of the World is an atmospheric musical puzzle game in which you play as personified data recovery software attempting to archive as much as possible from a decaying digital world. It's like a really pretty wordless game in which you kind of solve puzzles and like make music and help the inhabitants of this decaying space kind of cope with the end of the world.
I remember that we were talking about a narrative open world games like Journey, Breath of the Wild, A Short Hike, Night in the Woods, games like that. We had a lot of overlapping favorites, so we basically went in that direction. We had no idea it would take so much work to make a wordless open world though, so we ditched the open world aspect to focus on a smaller, self-contained linear narrative puzzle game. When we were deciding on the narrative, we sort of went towards more specific aesthetics like decaying technology in nature. And since Athena shared with us her passion for game preservation, that was really cool and it sort of resonated with us. So that's how we ended up with the general concept.
Players who enjoy narrative games, especially ones that are up to player interpretation, and like walking sim and music maker enjoyers, casual players, and just people looking for like a serene, emotional kind of experience.
It's a game that doesn't require you to be min-maxing anything or, always on your toes. It's just a quiet game to immerse yourself in when you want to have some alone time.
I think that we're all like very proud of the atmosphere that we were able to create, because the world in Songs to Sing is like very evocative, and that's thanks to all the contributions of all the team members' specialties. So we were all working in our like respective disciplines to maintain that like surreal, like mysterious, kind of slightly sad tone and mood and make this really pretty world. And I think it came together really well.
I created this tiny little version of Round Boy, which didn't spring from the final version. It was just a really simple little machine boy that I can animate quickly so that Noe can use in our prototype. Everyone seemed to really like how awkward he kind of just quickly bounced around. Since the shapes are really simple, I thought, okay, perhaps I can expand on those shapes more and incorporate more of mechanical features, things like big microphone recorders that you see on like large stages. And that's how Round Boy ended up growing up and being bigger. The little small sprightly Round Boy did not fit the mood of the game. He would have been moving too fast and too jauntily. So he grew up to be a little bit more slower and lumbering, but still having the same aesthetics of long arms and legs and kind of that round feature that everyone seemed to like.
We appreciate all of the comments about us making Round Boy plushies, and I would love if that happened.
That would be awesome.
I'm pretty excited about the overworld theme that I made, which will be implemented in the future, but is in our trailer, and that was pretty fun to make. And it's just, I was trying to make like a very kind of dreamy sort of atmosphere while also putting in some elements of like glitched sounds, and it was very fun to do.
I really enjoyed making the intro and outro cutscenes. I had a lot of fun with those that I'm really proud of.
In the beginning, Helen, our game designer, thought of this mockingbird mechanic where kind of like the characters in the game would copy each other's voices to communicate. But we wanted to test collecting sounds from the environment and having the environment like make sounds that you can collect and then use to make songs of your own. As like the composer, I'm always trying to kind of advocate for like as musical of an experience as possible in games, because I like grew up playing like a lot of little music maker games and was just really delighted by any game that let me kind of like use music as a mechanic. And so I've always been compelled with that concept. So I was really excited that we were going to add musical puzzles in this game.
I mean, we had to utilize your talents. It would be so sad not to. We couldn't really do 3D because I'm not a 3D artist. So my renderings had to be really simple, easy to read, but still evoke a sort of mood and atmosphere that, you know, Journey and Night in the Woods had. So I created flat shapes with interesting silhouettes and had minimal rendering so that when I produced them, I could produce them really fast and easy. And had Noe, our programmer, help me make these flat shapes in the 3D space light up with more atmospheric and mood with how she implemented, you know, fog and lighting. That was based off of the concepts I came up with.
Noe actually taught themselves how to use Cinemachine from scratch during the project, and just we ended up with this really neat and polished looking camera pans and like awesome cinematic moments. And also Noe made some custom shaders for us with these really cool glitch effects and these glows and fog. It's really awesome. And I think like from the surface, it kind of seems like that'd be easy to do just because it looks so good. But it was a whole lot of like custom work being done behind the scenes.
The summer program, you know, changed me by giving me such an amazing and wonderful opportunity to fast track my growth as an artist while, you know, collaborating with talented people, you know, like Athena. And it definitely has given me more confidence in my own work, and I know I've grown as a person through this experience. It's incredibly important to have marginalized people's voices in developing games because it introduces more diverse culture and ideas to people who otherwise would not have been able to experience them.
It honestly felt kind of life-changing. Like it gave me this sense of confidence in like myself and my abilities that I was really majorly lacking beforehand. Like everything feels more real now. Like when I tell other people like I'm a game audio designer, like I really mean it now. Like I don't feel like I have to add a disclaimer or like pretend. And it just kind of feels like a weight was lifted off my shoulders because it was just so validating to know that like by completing this program, like I feel like I have the ability to work in this industry and kind of make that dream come true. Doing narrative design really in kind of this formal capacity for the first time, that was really kind of a surprise for me too. Like it felt very cool to do that in a real capacity because I'd always kind of just been like interested in it or doing it on solo projects very minimally. But it was very cool to come up with like a full story and like world building stuff. And also to be both the sound designer and the composer was very cool because I got to really establish the world in both the like minimal interactions that you have with some of the UI elements and then with the overarching like musical moments that come in. So I like to, because both audio and storytelling go so hand in hand, and I just take a very like narrative approach to music. So I was happy to have like a hand in both of those roles.
The summer program really nurtures you to help you become your own in whatever it is you want to be. Whether you want to be an artist or a designer, programmer, the supportive and loving atmosphere in this program was just amazing. And watching everyone grow was so cool. So if you want to watch yourself grow and watch, your teammates and your cohort grow together and truly fill the shoes that they want to be, this program is it. We are planning on finishing the development of our little game sometime next year, not a set deadline. It was originally going to be in February, but each of us has started branching out into our own pathways, and so we won't have that much time to dedicate until sometime next year. But yeah, we are planning on finishing it.
So you can find us on Helen's Itch.io, and I think all of us should have it presented on our owns, but it's on Mei Cheng, which is MEICHENG on Itch.io. And you can also find us on Twitter. If you look at the Redacted Labs hashtag, there's a lot of content from this game there, and you can find all of our Twitter accounts connected through there as well.